We're live. Okay, my lovely assistant Nicola is going to do a little filming of me archiving. This is an example of me using Mum's very old Argus splicer from the old box of ancient stuff. And what I'm doing is I'm fixing a little reel called Olamal Stuckus. Funny Me, whatever. September 66. Anyway, this was all backwards and upside down, so I'm manually re-spooling it. And as I'm going, I'm fixing bad splices. I'm not sure if the camera can catch the big gouge that's out of there, but that's an old splice there, so I'm going to re-splice that using the old splicer. Oops. Line up the holes. I'm not sure if you're getting, are you getting that on the camera?
I think so.
Alright, that's good. And then we give it a little cut like this.
Old school.
This is old school. Not sure if that's focused or not, but maybe you can tell.
Yeah.
Alright, so then you got these two ends that will fit on top of each other. Now I unfortunately don't have the right materials, so I'm using this tape, Scotch tape, which is so space age that back in 1966 this would have been sufficient. What I'm doing here is making sure it doesn't cover the 8mm format tracking sprocket holes. Only because that becomes an extra little pain. I cut it right there, and I'm able to bypass the holes. And there it is. Then what I do is, you can back up, get this from a distance, and then I basically manually,
The camera's heavy.
I like to use a glove because that way I'm kind of wiping it clean as I go. I spool it on until I get to the next break. The reason I'm spooling it manually is because this whole thing was spooled backwards and upside down. I still have no real way of knowing if it's going to be right, but I do know that the holes are going to be in the right position if I do it this way. So I guess we'll find out when we get there. Alright. This leader is too short, so I'm going to take this end piece off and I'm going to add new leader. Now we got some Super 8 roll of leader, and that's not what we want because I have very little Super 8 film and I haven't had to fix any of it. So here we have some traditional 8mm leader. So I'm going to cut a piece to fit. So these two should now fit, and I'm going to give it lots of leader so that we lose no frames once we start filming. So that's lots of leader. So now we have a nice long piece of fresh leader. Try to line it up as accurately as possible so that it feeds through the projector. Ooh, see, that's a bit too much, so that's actually overlapping the sprockets. I'm hoping that will not be a concern. And just needle the holes Just make sure that the sprocket just gets through enough for it not to derail. And then this reel is now good to go. This is the Allemal Stukjes reel. And I'm going to refilm it. And hopefully it'll all be archivable this time. So, a little bit of the behind the scenes of archiving the Geyer family 8mm film archive. And that's the stuff on the cutting room floor, people. You know what I'm saying? That's my setup. That's Mom's old projector. And that's Chris's 8mm / Super 8 that I use for the 2 small films. And that's the tripod I'm using over here. That's my Manfrotto that I got myself for Christmas. Yay! And so yeah, project it onto the wall and put the camera on there and film it. Here's the runway and the finished product. And a couple more left to do. And that'll be it for archiving. Alright, Nicola's gonna hold the camera for me while I do that last little roll. This is the extra leader I put on it. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed. Oops, that's not what I want. That's what I want. So I put lots of leader on so that I'm able to get it going before the actual film begins, so I don't lose a single frame. Okay, so the film's about to start. So what we do now is we switch over here and we turn on the lamp. And see what we got. No, it's okay. I'm going to actually... So it's upside down. Isn't that interesting? Oh, maybe it was filmed upside down. So I'm going to have to re-spool this. It's upside down and backwards. So that makes things interesting. And okay, and that wasn't upside down, so it's all over the map. So I'm just going to film it as is, and then I'll just reverse it and turn the right side up in post. So there it is. And now it's forwards and right side up. So that's how I'm going to film it. And now it's upside down. Alright, so there it is. The setup.